I'm a guy, and I live in the same building as a female friend of mine, non-sexual, just a friend. She recently called and asked me to come downstairs without explaining why. Once I got there, she asked me to help carry her shopping up to her apartment. Annoyed, I asked her why she thought that was an okay thing to do, and she responded with, "Men want to feel wanted." I was upset by this, as I consider it to be low-effort nonsense. How is calling me to do stuff for you making me feel wanted? It's utter nonsense. Kindly give me your opinion on this and on ways women can make a man feel wanted. Story 1. Call me because you are interested in how I'm doing, not because you want a favor. Hang out with me because you enjoy my company, not because you need my advice. Date me because you're interested in me as a person, not because I'm a safe choice that keeps you from being lonely on a Friday night. Initiate intimacy with me, don't just occasionally let me know that you will allow it if I try. Story 2. I think she misunderstood between wanted and needed. Wanted is desired, needed is asking for help to fix a problem. Story 3. I want to feel wanted, not to be used. By feeling wanted, I want my presence to be welcomed. I don't want to be an outsider, an unwanted outcast who doesn't belong. I want to be a part of the group I'm with. By feeling wanted, I do not want to be someone's personal assistant. Story 4. It's okay to help people if they need assistance. I usually just need them to have good manners, like saying, "Hey, I could use a hand. I will owe you one." If they are rude or pushy, well, story 5. I want to feel wanted. Feeling wanted is not the same as working as a mule. I don't want to be summoned to help when that could be asked on the phone. I don't mind helping sometimes if it's too hard for the friend to do alone, but that doesn't mean I'm their servant. Story 6. I have a physically disabled partner and am almost always needed. There are things she physically can't do, and I need to do them for her. I have no problem doing that. But for a while before we had a pretty deep talk, I rarely felt wanted. Doing tasks for her and helping with her care is a need. So, doing other things, spending non-essential time doing hobbies around each other, more frequent intimacy, and sharing what we were looking at on our phones made me feel way more wanted. I love helping friends when they need it. I like being a person people can rely on, but just having me do a basic chore for you is not what I signed up for. Some people may feel differently. Being exploited is not being wanted. Story 7. Men want to feel wanted in the sense that we want to feel desirable. I like feeling strong, being told I'm intelligent, and feeling like I'm trusted. I still think about how a lady asked me to open a pickle jar for her about 5 months ago. Best feeling ever. What she did was make you feel useful. Story 8. That's not you being wanted, that's your strength being wanted. There's nothing special or personal about you in, "I want someone stronger than me to carry my stuff." You could have been replaced by anyone else who could have done the job as well. My wife was a real looker back in the day. Still pretty to me, but it's been 40 years and she doesn't turn heads the way she used to. One time at her house, her brother said something about how she turned down a lot of guys, and I asked him why. She walked in the room and said, "I didn't want any of them, I wanted you." I felt like $1,000,000 for a month. Because that was about me in particular. Story 9. I want to feel like people want me for who I am, not for what I can do for them. Making me feel wanted means showing genuine interest in me through words and actions. Story 10. It sounds like she read that on Reddit and realized she can use it as justification to have men do her bidding. Story 11. Men want to feel wanted and needed. That is not what she was doing. She was using you for free labor. Feeling wanted is not achieved by using someone. Everyone likes to feel wanted, but nobody wants to feel used. An example of making someone feel wanted is giving a small, thoughtful gift or asking for their advice on something and then following it. What she was doing sends a subconscious message. It suggests she believes she is of high status and you are of low status, making her use of you for menial tasks seem like a gift to you. This communicates arrogance, disdain, and narcissism. It doesn't seem like she's a good friend. Story 12. That's the exact opposite of feeling wanted. Reaching out only when you need something from me doesn't make me feel wanted. It makes me feel used, like I'm just a tool or service you can utilize when needed. Feeling wanted means you reach out when you don't need anything from me and just want to talk to me or see me. Story 13. We want to be desired for who we are as individuals. She just wanted any man, but we want to be valued for who we are as human beings. Story 14. As with all gender role archetypes, they won't apply to everyone, so her assuming this from you is unintelligent at best and disingenuous at worst. Everyone, men and women, want to feel wanted in a relationship. The alternative is feeling like someone settled for you or has just passively agreed to be in a relationship with you, and no one I know wants that kind of relationship. I suspect she is actually misquoting the actual gender archetype for men, which is that men want to feel needed. This is based purely on gender stereotypes and roles, which espouse the belief that many men feel a natural affinity to be providers and protectors, and that they will be unfulfilled in a relationship where the woman doesn't need him. This could be because they are financially independent, the main breadwinner, or physically stronger than him. Some women who believe this will pretend to be unable to open a jar and get their man to do it just so he feels needed. But I have never heard someone use this in the context of getting a platonic friend to carry groceries. Usually, this only applies in an established romantic relationship. So, as I said, she's either really unintelligent or just trying to deceive you. Story 15. She sounds like a complete idiot. What a moron. Wow. I would have laughed in her face and walked away. Not even worth a comment to her. Wanted as in desired in a respectful way, emotionally or physically. When she tells you, "You make me wild, I need you now," or "I miss you because I love you," that is feeling wanted. Story 16. Common misconception due to ambiguity of the word wanted. Men want to feel desired, not required. Story 17. Maybe she wants it to become sexual. Seems like a classic move. A woman asks a man to help her with something, hoping he helps her with more than just the task itself. Story 18. Guys want to feel desired by girls they have a relationship with, but not in a way that makes them feel like a slave. Story 19. Depends on your definition of wanted. For the record, free labor is not it. Personally, if a person feels happier, calmer, safer, more comfortable, or any combination of these with me around, that's when I feel wanted, and that's how I want to feel wanted. That doesn't mean I won't help someone I care about, but if they ask for my help thinking they're doing me a favor, I would tell them to ask someone else whom they don't take for granted. Story 20. Men want to feel desired, respected, and appreciated, not just for their physical attributes. The same as women do. Story 21. True, we want to feel valued for being ourselves, not treated like pack mules, repairmen, or valets. If this was her way of getting closer to you and seeing if a relationship is possible, it shouldn't have stopped at the lifting and carrying. She could have offered to make you a meal. If it ended once the groceries were put away, that's disappointing. Return the favor quickly, invite her over for the same reason and say, "Isn't it great to feel wanted?" And show her to the door. Story 22. Men want to be sexually wanted. Story 23. I fix things for a living. The number of times people have tried to seem friendly, only to end up using me for my skills, is insane. People have no shame. Story 24. Men want to feel wanted because they want to know someone enjoys their company. They don't want to feel used, which is how your story seems. No one wants to be called only when something is needed, something that isn't them, that will be dismissed as soon as the task is completed. To be fair, that applies to everyone, man or woman. Story 25. Men are generally valued for what they can provide for others. Therefore, men want friends who spend time with them because they genuinely enjoy their company, not because the man can provide a useful service. Tell your friend that helping her with groceries is you providing her something. What most men, and it sounds like you, want is for her to ask to spend time together without it being related to chores or work. Story 26. You know that question, would you love me if I were a worm? I want to know that if I suddenly can't provide, you won't just abandon me like a broken tool. Story 27. Hey, if a woman doesn't have an issue with what is written, give her my number so she can do my ironing or the dishes, then go home. I hate doing that. Surely she'll feel wanted then. Story 28. How about reaching out first once in a while? We get it, men are supposed to pursue, but can we feel desired for at least a moment? Story 29. I think she's confusing men want to feel wanted with men like to feel useful. And she's not even doing the feel useful part right. Part of the traditional male gender role is being a capable provider, and not just for your partner. Being physically bigger and stronger leads more naturally to women depending on men for more physical tasks. Lifting heavy objects, reaching the top shelf, opening jars, those are all small tasks that reflect that gender role. They don't take much effort and can make a man feel like he's fulfilling his role in a small way. It doesn't work if a woman just calls you to use you for a task like that. But as part of a relationship, whether sexual or not, if they ask the right way, if they're thankful, if they do things in return, it can make a lot of men feel like men. Story 30. Sounds like some nonsense her mother told her. Women act like guys are so simple and have us figured out. They really have no clue. I want everyone to respect me. That is the opposite. I would have said that's not a correct statement, and next time just ask if I mind giving you a hand like a normal person. Story 31. It's a complete misinterpretation to say, men want to feel valued and appreciated, not used. Whether it was deliberate or not, who knows? Story 32. I think that falls into the category of wanting to be needed, and only a select few have this desire. Women like to know there's always a man around willing to do things for them. Story 33. She is a narcissistic, self-centered user of people for her own benefit. Quite possibly the worst type of human being. My company seems to hire them exclusively. If by chance her name is Christina, run. Story 34. Bro, I got cancer reading that description. I didn't even bother getting to your point. Fix that. Story 35. Initiate affection and intimacy. Make an effort to want to see me. Offer to pay for dates. So really, the bare minimum. Story 36. The way she meant it. Give men a purpose or they'll feel as useless as they are. It's the same story I've heard from my mother and sister since I can remember. The actual reality. Talk to me because you care, not because you need to check a box. Ask my opinion because you value it, not because you feel obligated to do so, only to disregard it later. Spend time with me because you enjoy it, not because you think I'll forget how to function without you. Ask me for a favor or help with something because you believe I can actually do it, not because you think I'll feel left out if you do it yourself or with someone else. Spend the day with me doing something I picked because you genuinely enjoy or are interested in it, not because you think you're saving me from boredom by being with me. Ask me to help bring the shopping up because you don't want to make 2 trips, not because you think I'll get my feelings hurt by you doing it yourself. Ask me to lift something heavy because you want my help, not because you think my ego will be bruised if you do it yourself. It would actually be really impressive if you did it yourself, to be honest. Story 37. The feeling of being wanted is not exclusive to men or women. It's an emotion, and emotions don't see genders or species. If I got a dog today and just fed it but gave it no love, the dog wouldn't love me back or make me feel that it needs me. If more people understood this, they could process their emotions and act accordingly if they want to make someone feel wanted. Story 38. That's not being wanted. That's being taken for granted, and it's one of the quickest ways to turn me away from someone. Story 39. I have no clue what to think since I have never been wanted in my life, wanted to go away, drop dead, shut up, and a list of other things people have told me they wanted me to do, but I've never been wanted. Story 40. Men wanting to feel wanted is true, and therefore also a vulnerability that can be manipulated and exploited by selfish women. I'd bet that this friend is the type to complain that men don't open up to her. Situations like this are exactly why. Story 41. Wanting to feel appreciated means she shows that she values and desires me. Doing things that indicate this includes acts of service, giving compliments, offering affection like hugs and kisses, and initiating intimacy. Consider the concept of love languages and how people express them, instead of expecting these actions from them. Asking someone to help you with something isn't an act of service. It is expecting one. Story 42. I want a woman who desires me the same way I desire her. When we kiss, I want her to think, wow, I got a real catch right here. Story 43. We want to be wanted for who we are, not just for a favor we can do or funds we can provide. We want to feel attractive and loved. Story 44. From talking with my brother and guy friends, I think a lot of men want to be pursued just like women do. They want to feel like the woman wants to get to know them and do things to make them happy. Story 45. It is better to be desired than needed. It is better to be with someone by choice than out of desperation or necessity. If a person needs you but does not want you, they will feel trapped and resent you. Story 46. I want to be actively wanted. It's like comparing asking for a raise at work versus my boss notifying me that I'm eligible for a raise or promotion. Even assuming I get the raise in both scenarios, only one of them makes me feel appreciated. My presence is a package deal. I want to be around people who are openly happy about that, not people who treat it like a compromise. Story 47. Wanting to feel wanted is different from wanting to feel used. I would appreciate someone asking me to help with something, but a vague request that sounds like an order isn't cool. If I received a call like that, I would be concerned something was wrong, not that she wanted to use me for something. Men, like everyone, appreciate compliments and being valued as a person, wanted for who they are, knowing that people care and want to spend time with them. Story 48. No. Men want to feel important, like our lives matter to someone for something. It's not about being desired in a superficial sense. It's about being respected and recognized for our work. We want to hear "good job" more than anything else. Story 49. Honestly, this reads like a slightly annoying but semi-funny joke to me. If my female roommate did that, I'd chuckle, say a friendly "forget you," and then help her with her bag. I don't know, it isn't that deep to me. Story 50. I don't mind helping people, but within reason. It doesn't mean I want to be somebody's servant. Story 51. Of course, men want to feel wanted and needed, but only when they are genuinely needed. It sounds like your friend wants to push you into helping her for control reasons. I don't know why she would call you just because she thinks you want to feel wanted. It seems like she's trying to control what you do and wants your help so she doesn't have to do it herself. Now, if she had said, "I need you, friend. Can you please help me with this? I can't do it myself," that would be a different story. But she said she called you because she thinks you want to feel wanted? That's unreasonable. Sorry, you cannot force someone to feel something. Does this make sense? I'm a woman. Am I making sense here? I don't know. Story 52. In your example, she was just being lazy and using that to get you to do her chores for her. She really doesn't care whether you want to feel wanted or anything else. In general, in relationships, men need to feel respected, and women need to feel loved. If each has that, the relationship will succeed. If one or both is missing, it's doomed. Story 53. I find it fascinating that there are so many different interpretations of this. For me, it really depends on how I'm feeling. Story 54. What she's really talking about is men being needed. In that case, she needs your help, not wants it, and manipulates to get it. I take this statement to mean being loved, appreciated, and cared for who you are, not just for what you offer. We too are humans with hearts, not tools or targets of hate. Story 55. If it is something technical like moving a fridge into its new place or moving a wardrobe, that's fine. But for carrying her shopping, no thanks. Story 56. The same thing that women want is to be loved and wanted for who we are, not for what we can provide. It is difficult to put yourself out there for someone else to feel like you matter, and then not be sure if they genuinely want you around. Story 57. Yeah, that's not it at all. Wanting to feel desired and being used by someone are not remotely the same, unless that's someone's kink, then more power to them. Story 58. That is being useful, not wanted. A hammer is useful but often sits in a toolbox in the basement for months. Being wanted isn't always the same, but it is often somewhere between your dog being excited to see you and being invested in your life to know about your goofy hobby and knowing when you need some feel-better buffalo wings. Story 59. Everyone wants to feel wanted if you're a human. Anyway, I just say, no surprise, you want to feel wanted too. Story 60. There's a big difference between needed and wanted. Men often feel needed and much more rarely feel wanted. I think it largely comes down to the idea that men have extrinsic value but lack intrinsic value. A reasonable rule of thumb is that if you are asking me to do something, then you need me for a function. If you want to spend time with me because of my personality, then you want me as a person. Story 61. Men want to feel wanted and appreciated, not used. This unfortunately reinforces the idea that your worth and value are not about who you are, but what you can provide or how you can be useful. Story 62. OP's friend equated wanted with useful, which I'd argue is different. Do I mind opening doors for people or helping them carry things? Not at all. I do so whenever I can because it's nice to do and may make someone smile or feel appreciated. The key is that I'm doing it on my own accord. I'm not being summoned to do someone a favor. To me, wanted is the idea that someone is interested in my company without immediate personal gain. They appreciate my presence even if I'm not there for a specific task. Mentally, it's someone who can have a conversation and cares enough to listen with intent, not just hear until it's their turn to talk. That's important to me. Many people today don't actively participate in conversations. They're just able to stay quiet long enough for someone else to finish talking, interested only in speaking, not listening. If I'm sharing a hobby or interest, it means not just nodding and saying neat, but asking questions and engaging with what I'm saying, even if it doesn't interest you. It feels terrible to share something you're passionate about with a friend or partner and have them disregard it, interrupt you, or make a sarcastic comment. To make an example, it's cliché, but many movies and stories show people who are enamored with each other, listening with care and attention because they genuinely want to know the person. I think many misconstrue wanted as purely physical. Yes, it can include that aspect, whether sexual or not, but the mental aspect is often overlooked. Men often receive the stereotype of being only interested in sex. Some are like that, but I'd bet most are really starving for mental interaction as much as, if not more than, sexual attention. If I ever get asked by a woman how to get a man's attention, I will say the same thing. Ask what he likes and then ask questions about that topic. Show that he can share about it, and that will open him up to sharing more, like feelings. It doesn't matter if you don't care about Legos, Star Wars, fishing, or sports. Most guys will fall in love with you whether they want to or not if you show interest in their hobbies. But listen and participate. Don't just hear them or mock them. Story 63. Narcissists like to make self-serving acts seem like they're done to serve others, regardless of who the other person is. It's just a lack of a personality trait called being human. Story 64. I'm not a dude, but listening to a guy tends to make them feel appreciated. Small things make a big impact. Story 65. Tell her there's a difference between being wanted and being used. Ask her when was the last time she called one of her female friends just to talk and ask how they are, etc. Then ask when was the last time she called you to do the same and not ask for a favor. Story 66. As an owner of a pickup truck, this is why I ignore a lot of phone calls from some friends. Men want to be wanted, not used. Has anyone ever called you just for assistance and then sent you packing with that line? Story 67. I had an ex who blatantly joked that she had a different man for every use, giggling and calling me a walking, talking dildo, a sex toy to be used. She couldn't quite grasp why I didn't finish her sink or started to dislike being around her. The post-relationship friends with benefits arrangement didn't last long after that. I'm still shaking my head years later, wondering why I ever allowed myself to think she was worth it. I felt so disgusted with myself for having ever made the decision to allow the sex to continue until that point. The fool she's with now has no clue about the things she would say about him. Just as I was a fool for ignoring how all her exes were merely useful to her during their turns. During the relationship, I opened up about how I was feeling under so much pressure being used and only called on for my usefulness by everyone. I felt crushed and squeezed by her too, and I just wanted to cut and run, leave, go anywhere, go ghost. She still just couldn't get it and made herself a victim. I just wanted air, someone who actually wanted me, someone who didn't need me to be useful or perfect to be loved. I'm so grateful for my current girl. When she says baby, by Jason Aldean. As for everyone else, listen to Be a Man, by Dax. Story 68. She's just manipulating you into doing things for her. Don't overthink it. Men like to feel wanted by the people they love, not random neighbors who are attempting to extort favors. Story 69. She's entitled. It's one thing if my wife praises me for being strong when I open a jar for her or move something heavy, but our marriage has benefits. Story 70. Men want to feel loved unconditionally. Often, our worth feels transactional and conditional. The statement expresses the idea that men want to feel valued for who they are, not just for the value they provide. She misunderstood the meaning of the statement because she doesn't understand what it is like to live as a man. Story 71. I agree with the intent of the phrase, but wanted can be genuine or exploitative. Being wanted only to do tasks and other things for people definitely falls on the exploitative side of it. Story 72. Men want to feel wanted, but only if she truly desires them. Women shouldn't use this as an excuse to get men to do manual labor for them. I want to feel appreciated when I go to work because I care about providing for my family, not just for the paycheck. I want to see her eyes light up with joy when I finish a project for her because she knows I want her to be happy, not because I'm free labor. I want her to see me playing with our kids and know that I genuinely love them, not just view me as an adequate babysitter. Story 73. She knows the words, but not what they mean. She wasn't showing that she wanted you. She was taking you for granted. She could have accomplished the same thing with good vibes simply by asking properly. Are you busy? Could you help me out? I have some heavy stuff to carry upstairs and could really use a hand. And then afterward, thanks. I really appreciate it. I would have been in a good mood the rest of the day. Story 74. Men want to feel wanted, that much is true. But men also don't want to feel used and taken advantage of by people. It would be one thing if she offered to invite you over for dinner if you'd help her or if she'd help you with something and was calling in a favor. But just a random call out of nowhere by someone who doesn't live with you? I don't blame you for feeling disrespected. All that said, it is also entirely possible that she was trying to make a lighthearted joke out of genuinely needing a hand. Friends do things for one another, and you say she's your friend, so I don't know. Without the tone for context, it's tough to make a call on this one. Story 75. She's got it wrong. That means making a man feel needed, as in carrying heavy things. Feeling wanted means they enjoy your company without having to do anything. Story 76. Want my company and my dick like it's milk chocolate in the middle of winter when you're trapped inside watching Netflix. Story 77. Men want to feel valued for more than their utility as providers, protectors, and infrastructure builders. Appreciate us for our thoughts, attractiveness, and values beyond just the basic masculine components. Story 78. Genuinely ask me how I am doing or how my day was. Not because you need something. Initiate sex with us. Don't give me hints. Men are straightforward and need clear signs. Story 79. Urban areas experience less labor trade compared to rural areas. In rural areas, due to a variety of skills, space, resources, and a general lack of income, friends tend to trade labor. For example, I'll work on your car with your help, and you help me fix my roof. Parts are generally not expected to be purchased, but if we can obtain them at cost for each other, we do. This is done for people with whom we have ties beyond just labor. Newcomers usually don't have much to offer besides their labor, and they tend to dislike not being up to a specific task. They want a place in the hierarchy and often feel uncomfortable when they don't have much to contribute. This doesn't apply only to men. For instance, my mother babysat for years as she didn't earn wages but traded this labor with friends to help with projects. The issue arises when modern interpretations take these arrangements out of context. Without a community, without family or friends, this system doesn't exist. Men want to feel valued, and the key word here is wanted, not enslaved. Context is crucial for understanding such exchanges and whether favors are reciprocated. Does she help with similar tasks when roles are reversed? On the scale of unreasonable expectations, this is an extremely manageable task. Story 80. Nah, brother. Your friend is manipulative. Everyone likes feeling needed, but she just needed someone to carry her things. She's full of it. Next time you have a lot to carry, call her and do the same. Story 81. Men want and need to feel useful, capable, desirable, and overall validated by women, especially when they rarely, if ever, get any attention. Story 82. Yes, men want to be wanted. Your friend is just using that as a line to justify her using you for help. She's full of it. Story 83. Totally my ex right there, bro. Only contacts me when she wants something. She is using and manipulating you with a commonly misinterpreted phrase. Men want to feel wanted doesn't mean being needed to do work for a woman. It means she desires to be around you. She wants to do things for you, not needing to have things done by you. It means feeling like she likes you for who you are, not what you can give. Story 84. Offer to make dinner for me or even get takeout because I've been so busy all day and running on fumes trying to finish things up. Stares at me like I'm incredibly attractive. Maybe even throw in a playful comment or joke. Asks me out just because. Gives me a back massage. Chats with me, wanting to know how I'm feeling and how I'm doing. Story 85. You should have turned around and gone back to your place without helping. Tell her, I'm a human being just like you and everyone else. If you want me to feel wanted, then do something that doesn't benefit you. Do it strictly for me because you want it to, not as a task to make your life easier. Don't let these women treat you like your life is meant to serve them. Story 86. I would set up all the ingredients needed to cook dinner and invite her over without saying anything. Once she arrives and realizes what's happening, make sure to say, do women love to cook? Very confused. Story 87. Not wanted. Respected. Unfortunately, respect requires a great deal more effort from others than mere wanting. That's why gangsters and thugs employ violence. It isn't that others want them to be violent. It's that violence garners gangsters and thugs respect from others, lest that violence is turned upon those other people. Story 88. The phrase is not wrong, she just took it in the wrong sense. Wanted is not the same as useful. The situation would have been much better if instead of saying, I wanted your help with this, she said, I wanted to see you, so I asked for your help even though I don't need it. Maybe have a chat with her. I've had this situation happen with awful people who actually wanted to take advantage of me, but also with good people who just wanted to be with me and made a poor choice of words to explain it. Recently, I met someone who needed help with something, and I didn't mind. After some time, she asked less and less. At one point, she was honest and said, You helped me enough. I can handle this myself. When I ask you for help, it's because I like to spend that time with you. That did make me feel good and wanted. Story 89. That expression is for relationships. Dude. She was just teasing you and knew you would take her seriously. You lack social skills and she is just trolling. Learn to say no like it's nothing. You are overreacting because you want to say yes and be helpful, and it frustrates you that your desires are not aware of who deserves it and who doesn't. Develop a scale of intimacy and closeness, from small children, elderly, kind people, friends who like you, acquaintances, and unfriendly people. This is the source of your pain, lacking a scale of what is kind and reasonable. Story 90. That is not wanted. That is exploited. She just needed a favor. Showing a person they are wanted is not this. Story 91. Wanting to feel wanted isn't about doing chores because someone else doesn't feel like it. It's about feeling helpful and being genuinely appreciated for it. Story 92. It's the same if you call her, make me a sandwich. I'd be very willing to help my neighbor if she asked in a polite manner, but like this, like she's entitled to your help. I do want to be wanted by my wife in a sexual way. Very far from what you're female. Story 93. Humans want to feel wanted, not really an opinion, just basic brain function. Animals want to feel wanted is probably accurate. Story 94. Next time, tell her, you make people feel wanted by doing something for them, not by using them. So, what are you planning on doing for me? And see how much she actually cares about you feeling wanted, even if it doesn't benefit her. Story 95. At this point, I'm just tired of living up to everyone's expectations. Hence, I don't know about the idea that men want to feel wanted. My ex wanted me because I gave her money, My mom always asked for money, and so did my unemployed brother. I sometimes think about what it means to be truly wanted, not because people want something from me. Female standards are at an all-time high, leaving men forgotten how to feel wanted, to be honest. Story 96. My husband is definitely someone who wants to feel appreciated. He loves it when I take something he's holding, like his phone, and run upstairs. He'll grab his snack or whatever he has, run up behind me, and happily plop into bed just to cuddle while I read my book and he plays his video games. He has the biggest smile because he knows I could escape the kids alone, but I want him with me. He enjoys when I call while he's at work. He drives a truck delivering tires, just to chat. I try to avoid calling him at work when the kids are stressing me out. He loves when I ask if we can go out together, ride the motorcycle, or get something to eat, because it shows I want to spend time with him. He gets excited when I ask to join him at parties and concerts because he knows I don't usually enjoy those activities. But I go because I want to be with him. Men want to know that we want them in our lives, not just that we need them. Story 97. Everyone needs validation to feel valued. Men and women tend to receive that validation for different things, though there is a fair bit of overlap. Being useful is often a way that men seek validation. Story 98. She used the line in the opposite way that any sane person would interpret it. I doubt there are any men who want to feel like others want them to do their manual labor. It would be more accurate to say that I want people to want to be around me when I'm not doing things for them. I hope you left her groceries downstairs. Story 99. Men want to feel desired. Her asking you to help her with mundane tasks has nothing to do with desire. Story 100. Maybe she was just joking and didn't think you would mind helping since the two of you were friends. I'm female and I have helped other female friends with this when asked. I've also helped older people when asked, and sometimes I have offered to help. I agree that what she said was strange. Still, no one has to help if they don't want to. Surely she was aware you could have said no. Maybe she just wanted a way to talk to you? Story 101. Manipulative woman speak. True, men need validation, but many women feel this is an excuse to treat us like needy children. I'm not talking about a favor, just some recognition that we went out of our way to help the feminist out. Story 102. Yeah, we don't mean we want to do random menial tasks for you. We mean we want to be affectionately wanted as we do. Story 103. I do want to feel wanted, but I don't want to feel taken advantage of. My counselor called me a service dog type because I get most motivated if there's something I can offer to someone else. I've been craving to be wanted in my life, but I haven't tackled the conflict between wanting to be wanted for myself or the things that I offer. Right now, I'm thinking I want to be wanted for something in the middle. I want the person who needs me to know me and care about me, but also I want to feel that my actions have enough purpose to affect someone else's life. I take personal pleasure in making that change for the better. I don't know if this is how men in general feel, but I hope my own observation could help someone else tackle their own feelings about wanting to be depended on. Story 104. As a 43-year-old, my interpretation is that men want to feel wanted in the same way women do. Sexually and physically, we want our partners to actually show their desire. We have also been told that we need to make men feel needed by doing traditionally male tasks. We are trained as young women to play the damsel in distress if we want a man to view us as feminine. This idea is prevalent in a lot of dating advice, given by both men and women, suggesting that this is how you get a man to notice you and bring out his masculine energy. That's probably what your neighbor was doing. Story 105. I want to be the one person she makes a point of not being late for. I want her to make me part of the conversation when we're apart. I want her family to not take no for an answer. I'll just have to have 2 Christmas dinners. I want to be the one she wants near when something breaks her heart. I want her to hold me when something breaks mine, and I shouldn't have to ask. I want to always be her +1, as she is mine. I want her to come to my defense if her family judges me unfairly, and I want it to be me and her against the world if it comes to that. I want her to miss me like I miss her, and say it out loud. I don't mind if she thinks about that annoying singer when I'm giving her attention, because it's me she's with, and I'm the one she's about to embrace while doing that unusual snorting sound. I'd never tell her about the unusual snorting sound, because just seeing her express joyful abandon makes me fall in love again. Story 106. Sexism. Because you're a man, you must feel wanted by female attention and requests. The same sexism suggests that women want to feel wanted, so they should go cook some food or fold some laundry. Same shoe, different feet. Story 107. The real question is, did you help her? Entitled women expecting boyfriend or husband treatment should be ignored. Story 108. Wife here, 52-year-old female, the more I let him do, the more it makes him feel better. He likes rescuing me. Maybe he wants to be Batman. Story 109. To me, it is all about feeling that I am the only one, that I have undivided attention. If I am just one more in the rotation, thank you but no thank you. I'm much better on my own. Story 110. Yeah, feeling wanted isn't about being used as a tool for someone. Women don't really understand men a lot of times. Story 111. I want to feel wanted by people I love and care about, not by random neighbors who only call me when there's work that needs to be done. Story 112. Men want to be desired in the same way women do, desired in a sense of nurture, appreciation, affection, time, and love. Acts of service can make you feel wanted, but I think that strictly applies to relationships with mutual respect and love for each other, serving each other. Story 113. I thought this would be a better discussion when I saw the title, so dull. Story 114. Would be nice to receive a random romantic message from my wife occasionally, telling me she can't wait to see me later. Story 115. It's sexual. All male intimacy involves sexual access and desire. If you can't stop orgasming on his penis while saying his name, he feels wanted. He will also carry your groceries afterward. Story 116. She obviously misunderstood what men mean by us wanting to be wanted, but I don't know why a friend asking you for help with their groceries would bother you in the first place. Story 117. Men want to feel desired. That's not difficult to understand. Men are not given the same affection or emotional opportunities as women. That's not difficult to see. The original poster's question is not only a violation of subreddit rules, but also disingenuous. I suspect they are writing a paper or doing research at our expense. Story 118. Men say they don't like women who act strong and independent, so a woman asking for help is her way of showing vulnerability or submissiveness. I think that woman could be interested in you. Story 119. Your neighbor was expressing romantic interest in you, but you were too unaware to realize it. You also made it into a cultural issue by posting about it. That opportunity has passed due to how you handled the situation. Consider thinking more carefully about impulsive reactions in the future. Story 120. Of course, I would do anything within my capabilities when there is even a remote chance of getting laid. The real thing never happens, but I still find the game exciting. Moreover, being asked to do anything invalidates the general opinion that I am good for nothing, which has been deeply imprinted into my self-awareness by people around me, so I score a few survival points and can have a better day or even two. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.